All right, welcome into another edition of Cougs Corner. It's brought to you by the Cougar Collective, your home base for all NIL opportunities, connecting student athletes, fans, and business owners. Joined today, hashtag Mighty by Many, and supporting student athletes on and off the field. Of course, you can join the 1890 Club for as little as $18.90 a month, the most accessible route to supporting Cougar NIL growth. You can also make a one-time donation. If you're a business, you can collaborate your brand. You also can drink beer and support the NIL with the Old Crimson legendary lager brewed by Pike Brewing. Sales benefit the Cougar Collective. Visit cougarcollective.org. Also, thanks to Andy Largent and the fine folks at Flat Stick Pub, Cougar owned and operated. They've got 6 amazing locations across the state: Kirkland, Pioneer Square, South Lake Union, Spokane, Bellingham, and Redmond. They've got you covered. Guys night, ladies night, watching the Cougs. Flatstickpub.com. This week we welcome in Washington State kicker Dean Janikowski. You can follow Dean on Twitter at Dino Janikowski, and of course we're going to get to his fundraiser here, More Than a Kick, in just a second. Which on his social media channels you can see the link there. I'm going to start off with fan behavior. Okay. I want to know what a college athlete has to go through on social media, because I'm gonna apologize to you right now. And I did it the night that it happened. You of course can remember the San Jose State game. That was a big game, and you had a very big kick in that game, correct?
Oh yeah.
Okay, earlier in the game, you had missed an extra point or a field goal. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, extra point.
Extra point. And I remember, and I said, I don't want to see him kick again. I don't want to see it anymore, because I am one of those irrational fans, and I'm an adult, and I need to know better. And I realized after I had said that and tweeted it out, I'm like, I'm an idiot. Like, what? This isn't serious. It's just sports. And after you made the game winner, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back in. I'm gonna go support Dean's fundraiser here with a $52 donation based on the yardage that you made. So I'm here because I knew we were gonna have you on, and I wasn't gonna avoid it. I'm sorry, and because I'm sorry that you have to deal with people like me, and you have to deal with people on social media. Because I can only imagine, Dean, like being a college kicker and just being a college athlete in this environment today. It's gotta be rough. So swing away. Take me out at the knees if you want.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I don't take anything seriously, especially like a guy that looks like he lives in his college dorm still, in that little corner. It's nice. So I know a lot of people that are commenting stuff like that. You're gonna see things like that, and yeah, it never really phases me. Obviously, with that 52-yarder and just stepping up again and just doing my job.
I'm gonna save that clip forever. That is the greatest clip, and I deserve all of it. Yeah, I feel, you know what, if I could go back into a college dorm, if I could go back to college right now, Dean, I think I would. And so
yeah,
I want
you got the flag and everything for it, all the pictures, kind of crooked flag, everything.
Crooked flag, the pictures, the beer in the background.
That's right.
Pretty much is a dorm room.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, mine's pretty similar, but I don't think I'd be able to have the flag with the beer, and the RA would have been throwing a fit. So,
well, it's for a good cause. You can drink the Old Crimson and support athletes like yourself. But go back. I'm gonna go back to that day and just in that game, but just overall, like dealing, like you guys in athletes today in college, right, Dean? Athletes 10, 15, 20 years ago, they didn't have to deal with that. Maybe they would get a comment, walk around campus by someone or what have you. There was a kicker, I'm blanking on his name, it'll come to me in a second, that was a kicker for the Cougs back in the day against Notre Dame and had missed a kick, and someone I think they had wrote something on his dorm room or his apartment or something like that. The door, Drew Dunning, I think is who it was.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure Drew. But that's another level of fandom that goes way over the line. But social media, people can hide behind their profiles. And how do you deal with that? Like, do you deal with it? Like, do you brush it off, or does it sometimes it gets on you?
I used to really hate it. Like, I mean, it kind of sucked, especially with like the things I do for charity and like when people dig at me, because I've always said that like me doing my charity thing, especially with like kicking field goals, and if I make the field goal, it's going to be more money for those fighting cancer and things like that. So like, I used to think that like I would have like a safety net like that, but people don't care and people still going to attack you. And I used to kind of like engage in that, and like someone would say something and then I would like respond back to it on my phone, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to tell him. Like I get like I'm not going to lie, I feel like the people that comment, especially on Twitter, are normally the nastiest people, depending on the comment. Like depending on how nasty it is, normally that person's pretty messed up. Like they got something else going on with their life. They got other problems in there and whatever. So I learned to not respond to it, especially in like the last year. Like last year wasn't the year I wanted to have, and it wasn't my best year here at WSU kicking field goals. And so I got some pretty nasty comments, and you'd be surprised how quickly people can find your phone number, how quickly people can just go to your DMs and things like that. So as long as you don't respond to it, it really doesn't faze me, and it really just doesn't stick to my mind, because I'll look at it and I see it, and if I brush it away, I forget about it pretty quickly. And obviously part of being a kicker is just be able to step up and just keep doing your thing and just not let that bother you.
Yeah, it's got to be, right, of all the positions in sports, it's got to be one of the more mentally challenging positions, I would assume.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the hardest part. I've always said kicking field goals is easy, but being able to kick a 52-yarder after you missed an extra point, that's 20 yards away, and then go, you know what, here's a 52-yarder. That's all right. I'm going to drill it. And so just being able to step up and do that is the biggest part of it, and just a huge mental side of it, especially with like people like I have John Mateer holding for me. John's our best holder we have, but we don't have Nick Haber right now because of his back injury, and he is an incredible holder. So we have John is running 60-yard runs and things like that. So whenever he puts his hand down, he's got so much adrenaline, his whole hand is shaking. So so like a mental part of that is just knowing that John's going to be able to put it to that spot and do it every single time. And it's not always going to be perfect. With like Nick, it was always perfect. So this year, not having that every single time, that mental part of it, and just knowing like, hey, listen, it might not be perfect laces, it might not be in the same spot, I just have to kick through it and I'll be able to still make it. And so that was kind of a big learning curve for this year.
Yeah, Dean, that's interesting, because I mean, fools like me would say, I've always wondered this. Why isn't the quarterback or the backup quarterback the holder? Because in a lot of instances you do see it's the punter. And I always wondered that, because hey, if it's a bad snap and you field it, do you trust the backup quarterback a little bit more than the punter, to scramble out, have the fire drill and, throw the ball and try to complete a pass. But you bring up an interesting point that, you've got John, who's the starter, who is, rattling off a long run. He's got the adrenaline. Now he's got to calm himself down and then put a perfect placement down. It seems like one of, I don't want to say easier things, but like, basic things is just holding a ball. But I want you to go more into that, just the nuances of someone like Nick, who is so good at of just placing the ball down and allowing it to have the perfect spot for you to kick it.
Yeah, I mean, do you golf at all, Jason?
Yeah. Terrible golfer.
That's all right. Yeah, that's fine. So it's kind of, you have your own like tempo to your swing, just like a golfer. Like you want to do your same swing, whether you go on your backswing, you take your time, swing through it. Okay, well, so now you have your drive. You got to be able to hit this ball, and you like to tee the ball up a certain way and get it the right height, everything. Okay, now I want you to get into your stance, and I'm going to change where that ball is. I'm going to change where the ball was placed, actually. So you might have had that ball right in the middle of your feet. I'm going to move it over this way a little bit, or I'm going to move it this way. And then now, I'm going to have you do your backswing, and I'm not going to have the ball there. And then I want you to swing, and I'm going to put the ball there. The ball is going to be right in the same spot you had it before, but you still have to do your same swing. I'm going to put the ball right there. Wow. And so you have to be able to hit that. And so the thing why we have Nick and just punters in general always holding is because you're with them most of the time. So like we can't be kicking for 2 hours a day. So during then we can work Nick holding. We can work we're just limited with John. John's working his butt off. He's doing everything else that's arguably it is way more important, but we don't have that same amount of time and just connectivity because you're so used to just seeing and getting to that spot every single time. So when I have someone like Nick, who I've done 1,000 reps with, I'm super comfortable with him, similar just like using the same driver I love, or I have to switch it out because we have John and I got to do my same drive. So there's a whole like mind mess up to it all, but yeah, just being able to like just wipe that and just do your same thing, because we've done it 1,000 times. The kicking's easy. Now just wipe it and just give me 2 seconds of focus.
Okay, what's the driver of choice in Janikowski's bag? You're a golfer, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, I just bought my own fitted clubs like this last summer. Yeah, so that's been nice. They say the more money you spend on fitted clubs, the better you're going to play. So
how old are you, Dean?
23, turning 24 in November.
Okay, 24. I'm 48. It's going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. You're going to spend so much effing money on this sport.
Oh, man.
And it just gets more, and you're going to buy more clubs, and you're going to buy a different driver every year because they got new technology. You're just going to keep pouring money into it.
That's
and
right.
You're going to get so angry at it, but it's I always describe it, when you're playing with your buddies, it's the most fun sport. It's also the most aggravating because week you can play so well and every swing is perfect. The next week you play, it's all gone.
Yeah.
And you can't figure out why.
Mine's always like my irons will be really good. Driver's going to suck.
Yes.
And then driver's really good. And then maybe even my irons are good. But then the putting is just terrible.
Chipping's off. You can't just all I want is one effing day to put it all together. Just all one day. That's all I ask.
In front of all the boys, too, because you'll have your days alone. You'll be great alone.
Oh, for sure.
You'll be the best alone, actually, and you'll tell everyone how well you did alone. And then now you're with them, and it's just bad.
What kind of clubs did we buy?
So I got TaylorMades, and then I have a Mizuno driver. Ooh. I actually got fitted with John. So me and John used to have Goodwill clubs. Me and John went out to that Palouse place, and we got fitted for them.
Good.
Mine were used, but I bought a new driver, new 3-wood, new putter. But yeah, I used to golf a lot when I was little, and then obviously grew up and got bigger, so they never fit.
Yeah.
And kind of got into it over summer. Nick loves it. Nick played every single day over summer, and then we kind of got into it.
You guys got a hell of a course to play over there.
It's so fun. Yeah, that. And then whenever we play these flat courses, like we went and played in Lewiston, it's so easy compared to Palouse.
Yeah. When we were in school there, that course, like where the driving range is, that was like hole number 9. And so it was just a 9-hole course. And it was fine. You'd go out there with beer. We'd play barefoot. I mean, it was just, we'd dick around. It was great.
Yeah.
But then that beautiful course got built. And then I can't believe how much money you guys pay for that thing. What is it, like $30, $35 maybe for a student? I mean,
no, I think it's 52 a student.
52? Well, okay, that's still a deal. 52. That's still a hell of a deal.
Yeah, well, especially if you buy the summer pass. I never bought the summer pass, but a lot of the guys got the summer pass, and it's worth it if you go every single day. And a lot of those guys, that's all they did.
How much? You always hear about the specialists playing golf, right? The kickers and the punters. The joke is, right, you have a lot of time on your hands, right? You probably heard that many, many times before. How much, though, does that sport help you with what you do on the football field? Is there any correlation at all?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Same swing, just consistency swing. I mean, like, for like kicking, like have your same, it's identical, especially punting, like just using the same swing, same contact, because good contact in good golf is going to be great. Good contact in football is going to be great. So that, and then just the mental side of it, like if I got to make this putt, I got to make this kick. It's the same thing, and it helps a lot. I actually really am happy I got into it because I was able to understand it and be able to use like when I was learning a lot about golf, to use that on the football field, and it helped me a ton.
What kind of golfer are you?
I'm not the best. I'm pretty good. I'm actually a really good putter. So for like scrambles, use me for putting. Driving, decent. And then chipping and stuff like that, I'm pretty good. I got a nice 60 that I like.
Oh, I love a good 60. Don't let anybody tell you not to use a 60 degree. A lot of these people don't use it. You're not Phil Mickelson. I love it. No, I love flipping that thing open and flopping it just like Phil.
Oh, yeah. It's the best. And when it works out, you look the best, too.
Now, when it doesn't work out, you look like an idiot. But when it works out, God, it's pretty.
Yeah, I'll always just skull it over the green.
Who else do you play with? You mentioned Nick and John. Who's the best player on the team that you've played with?
Ooh. Oh, you know who's really good is Kmart.
Really?
He is incredible. He's a state champion golfer. So he won state championship his senior year.
Tell everybody who Kmart is.
Kmart is one of the old linemen. I'm blanking on his name because I always just call him Kyle Martin. Kyle Martin.
Call him Kmart. And he was a state champion?
Oh yeah, and he looks like Phil Nicholson. When he wears all his stuff, he looks identical.
Wait, skinny Phil or fat Phil? Since he's
Fat
kind
Phil,
of fat Phil. Yeah.
Identical. And he arguably plays just as good as him. He is incredible. We played a scramble with the whole football team, like Coach Dicker, all the coaches, and his O-line coach. I wasn't partnered with him, but we were both in the same cart cruising around. He's so funny, screaming at him just at Kmart. Hey Phil, nice shot, Phil.
I've heard Arbuckle's not bad.
Yeah, he's really good. He's also one of those guys that's like sneaky good at everything. He can kick a field goal. He can hit onsides. He can hit punts. He's really good at ping pong. He's really good at golf as well.
I hate those guys.
Yeah. And normally they're really cocky too.
And he's kind of cocky, isn't he?
A little bit, yeah. He's got some swagger to him, though.
Yeah, he does. When you go back to the San Jose State game for just a quick sec. Mm-hmm. You'd missed it early. You'd missed the field goal early. You're lining up, and which was an amazing comeback. I mean, I couldn't believe that you were able to get back into that position.
Oh, yeah.
Which was just incredible. You're lining up for the 52-yarder. I think people would love to hear what's the thought process. What is it? You probably say something or have something you can share it or don't want to share it, but what's the thought process as you're lining up to kick that?
Yeah, so we'll start from when I missed the extra point. I was kind of having a struggle with, like, I would freak out mentally. I would see a bad hold, or I would see, like, this looks weird. So I'd freak out and whip my hip. So I missed it left. I whipped the ball. I missed it left. And that hurt us because it was 37-38. And so rather than, like, just pouting and being upset, because we had about a minute and 30 seconds or something like that, I knew we were going to kick off the ball. We had to get a stop. We get there. John has like 30 seconds to run the ball down the field. And I knew I had to be ready. That was the biggest part, was just staying super positive and staying present, because it's very easy to be like, oh, I suck. This sucks. I'm going to get a bunch of guys that live in a college dorm room still, and he's going to comment on Twitter and say all these things about me. I got to be all upset. So I stayed in a positive mindset. And I was just staying present, saying positive things to myself. You're going to make this next kick. Get me another opportunity. And sure enough, John, 3 plays in about 20 seconds, he gets us all the way up to the 35-yard line. I'm kicking in the net, staying positive. I write little reminders. Like, I have a reminder on my thumb right now that I use for practice. It says up. So to stay upright in my swing and through my kick, it doesn't cause me to whip the ball or kick it left. If I stay upright, I'm going to hit a straight, true ball. So that's what I'm just reminding myself. I'm staying calm. I chew gum, so I don't think about different things. I just think about chewing the piece of gum. I line up. Don't talk to anyone. I think I just got the lights turned off.
Oh, the power went out. You're like Dean Janikowski in like night mode.
I got time to turn the lights on real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. You do you. This is great. The lights went off. Well, it's because your powerful kicking leg knocked the power out. That was great.
Back.
Yeah, it's good. See, you know what? You're multidimensional. You can do everything, Janikowski.
Yeah, so I get back to my spot, and I just stay positive, calm my heart rate. The biggest thing is just lowering your heart rate. If you keep it up high, you're gonna freak out. So I keep that as low as possible. Get back to my steps. I've done this 1,000 times, so that's the biggest thing, is just reminding myself. I look at my target, take my 3 steps back, take my 2 steps over, take a deep breath, look at my spot one more time, and I nod my head at John and just operate and do my thing. The biggest thing is just knowing that you've done it so many times. It's a 52-yard field goal. It's a pretty good distance field goal, but it's something I can do in my sleep, and it's something that I'm not doing anything extra. I don't have to do anything extra for the team. It's just something that it's just another part of my job. So do that, stay calm, and kick through it. And sure enough, we drilled it.
When did you know it was good?
Oh, pretty quickly, especially off your foot. Like I would say like half a second off it's your foot, because you'll see the ball will go in a straight line. So you see that and you see the height and you're like, yeah, this is drilled.
Okay.
And
so you know right away that it's good.
Yeah. I'll start celebrating early. You'll see the old linemen pick their heads up every single time, especially like Colorado State. I was celebrating way early when we drilled that 55-yard field goal.
And what did that do for you? What was your internal immediate reaction for you?
I was pumped. I was screaming my head off, because it was a good redemption for me, obviously, just doing that. And just it felt really good, especially to just be trusted by Coach Dickert, to have like him have that much trust in me, going from like, man, this guy, he shanked a PAT. Now I want him to kick a 52-yard field goal. This is to go to overtime. It means a lot to have that and to have that trust, because there's a lot of coaches that don't have that trust, especially like we saw at ASU. I don't know if you saw the tweet with that. No trust at all. Sure enough, just throws his kicker under the bus. It means a lot, and I've been through a lot, and Coach Dickert's been great through all that.
Yeah. What kind of confidence does he maybe throughout the week, in the game after that extra point, leading up to that kick? What kind of confidence does he instill in you?
Yeah, he's always just super affirming. We always have a bunch of meetings. We always talk on the side. I'm always at the coaches' shows selling a bunch of stuff for my family's foundation and things like that. He's always talking to me, super positive, just always telling me, no matter what, if I miss the extra point, like, Dean, you're good. You got this next one. You got this, Dean. I trust you. I mean, even after the game, he gave me a big hug and just talked to me for a little bit, talking to me about how much he trusts me and how proud he is, and just all of it. We've been through it all ever since he was a head coach, and he's been great.
Yeah, he has been. We've had it. He comes on, probably every other week, and I would say, like, no one has started their coaching career with like these unbelievable like storylines, right? How he took over the job, COVID, the NIL, the destruction of the conference. I mean, every year there's been a something that, other than football, that he has to deal with as a head coach.
Oh yeah, I mean, even my career here, same thing. Going through all the head coaches, going through all my position coaches, going through COVID. It just even started, especially with like when Mike Leach left. When Mike Leach left, I had that year with him. And sure enough, I found out on Twitter, and I realized that Twitter is the place to go to news the quickest, to find out that he left.
And idiots that live in their dorm that complain about kickers.
That's right. Yeah, that always pops up for some reason. And so saw him leave, and then going through all that, and then even like my senior year here now, being the 6-year super senior and having to do punt and kickoffs because all our guys are down.
Yeah, well, you've been great at punting.
Yeah, it's been so fun. It's been so fun, like doing all that stuff. I love it.
Yeah. Do you think? I mean, could you double dip in the NFL like that, you think? And how come that you don't see more of that? Like, I would assume most of you guys as kickers could punt too. I'm just curious. I'm just curious why we haven't seen that before.
Yeah, I don't know. I think partly like coaches are super greedy with wanting to like have the absolute best for every job and everything like that. So to have a guy so they don't have to worry about it. Sometimes I think, and even there's been a stigma like that before. Like people have said like, oh, Dean can't do more than one job. He can only have him stick to field goals. He can't do more than one. And sure enough, we have a 43.6 yard punt average. We're like 40th in the nation for punting, and we're doing great on that, and kickoffs and field goals. And so I don't know. I just think they want to have the best guy possible and kind of put them up there, so it makes their life a little easier, and to have their holder too for punting position.
Oh yeah. Do you watch other? I would assume you watch other kickers, probably in the NFL. Who do you try to model after? Who do you look at and say, well, how does he approach his kicking style? Maybe I could take something away from that.
I would say Harrison Butker for sure. Yep. I mean, he took a lot of criticism recently.
Sure.
And he didn't let any of that faze him. He's a guy that has just been kicking the ball really well. And there's other guys I know too, like Younghoe Koo. I've worked with him a bunch. The Seahawks kicker, a bunch of those guys. But yeah, they just being able to see them and be able to rebound and just their form and the way they do it and try to mimic that.
I want to talk, Dean. I want to talk about your foundation. We started off at the beginning about it. You've talked about staying positive and with your kicking and the ups and downs of your career. At Washington State, just in terms of the coaches and players and the conference and all that. Obviously, adversity has struck your life. In high school and throughout college, but the more than a kick fundraiser, for people that don't know the story about your mom, would you please share it for us, please?
Yeah. So, and that's another thing to point out about how great Coach Dickert's been to me and my family. Was about 3 years ago now, my mom passed away from cancer, and she was fighting cancer, and things got really bad right around when we were getting ready for the Tony the Tiger bowl game. We had that bowl game. I was
Sun
in and
Bowl,
out.
right?
Yeah, it was more like the Rain Bowl. It rained so much.
Yes.
So he was allowing me to go back home, and I was flying back and forth every so often just to see my mom and kind of go through that. And so unfortunately, after the bowl game, a little bit later, like a week or two, she passed away from cancer. She fought it for about 10 years. And so my mom was super involved in the community. She was always helping people, especially when she had cancer. She was helping people who were fighting it, just like what to do, what not to do. She always loved just doing different charities and helping out like that. So when my mom passed away, my brother, my sister, my dad, we created the Heather Janikowski Foundation, and we started that. We did 5Ks. We still do 5Ks. We do hikes, things like that, raise money for people in the local community, help them out. And so then when NIL came out, I was kind of like, wait, I could start using my platform. So I started using my platform, and I kind of brought it up to here, and I created More Than a Kick. And what More Than a Kick is for every point I score, you can pledge a certain dollar amount. You can pledge $1. You can pledge, I believe Domino's is at $100 per point right now they're pledging. So every single time I step out on the field and I kick a field goal or a PAT, that money gets donated to my family's foundation. And with all that money we get, we donate to someone fighting cancer in our local community. And the biggest part about that is we use 100% of that money we get and donate it. I don't make a dime off of it. I don't pay any of our employees. I don't pay anyone it. All that money is donated to someone fighting cancer. And we've been able to help a bunch of people. And I believe we're right about almost $150,000 raised in the last 3 years doing this. And we've donated about $100,000 to it, about 10 to 15 different people.
Yeah, that's right. And then, am I reading this correctly? Just on the website, a little over $17,000 raised, and that goes to the local communities in Pullman and Spokane and Seattle. Your ultimate goal is around $30,000 for that.
Yeah, 30. So I think we did like 17 the first 2 years, and then now we're on course to do, it's kind of similar, but we've been selling t-shirts and making more money like that and donations. And it's been cool to be able to kind of spread the word and talk about it like things like this, because big companies like Microsoft have donated to it recently and things like that. So yeah, it's been really cool.
And then you still have your own website still up and running too. Is that deanjanikowski.com that people can go there, and then you've got different ways to donate there. When's the merchandise coming out?
Well, we have it. It's at the Coaches Show. We were at the beer garden with it. It had the More Than a Kick t-shirts. We sell them $20 a shirt. We've been doing that. So yeah, you can go onto on my website, you can donate there. You can go onto the HeatherJanikowskiFoundation.com. You can go there, donate that as well. Or my social medias has the More Than a Kick that you can donate to that. And then also we have yearly is the Kicking Cancer event, which is at Zeppos in Pullman. It's a bowling tournament, live auction, silent auction. It's a big event. We had about 400 people last year, raised around $55,000 of that. And yeah, it's cool. It's super fun doing all that. And like the whole charity aspect, meeting these people that are fighting cancer and just hearing their story and being able to help out. I mean, similar to what I said about 100% of the money goes to those people. We had our auctioneer he had a son that had testicular cancer, and the same foundation to what we do, they donated money for his son and paid for his medical bills and all that. And so he ended up doing the auctioneering for us for free, and that was cool, and just getting connected like that.
And you're one of these. Here's the thing, folks. What you don't know about Dean, maybe you do. This guy's like a content creator too.
Yeah,
I mean, you're out there riding motorcycles. Can you ride motorcycles? Are you allowed to do this during the season? Because I'm watching you. I'm watching on the website right now. Are you the one that's doing the wheelie, which it looks like it's on like Highway 26 or somewhere?
Yeah, that's over in California. So it's an undisclosed location doing wheelies down the road.
What does Dicker think about that? Is kickers popping wheelies down the road?
Honestly, I don't know if anyone's ever asked that question. So maybe next time he's on the show, you got to ask him.
Yeah, I'm gonna show him the clip. Of his kicker.
Oh my gosh!
How long you been riding motorbikes?
My whole life, ever since I was 2 years old. I actually thought I was gonna race professionally. Like it was getting to that level. And then Mother's Day, I decided I wanted to get my leg ran over. Got my leg ran over. Broke that.
Decided.
And so that kind of, I was so young, I didn't realize I got shut down from riding motorcycles, but I got shut down at that time. And then,
how old were you?
The second grade when that happened.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
Yeah, I
really?
was doing really well. I was racing with guys that had bigger bikes and bigger classes, and so I was a young kid racing, and
Yeah.
I was leading the race, fell over, and I guess my leg was sticking out. Guy ran it over, and it twisted all the way around.
Oh, I bet that's when mom shut it down.
Yeah, I think that's when mom shut it down, but it still went on. I loved it. I would do it every single day. I would go to school about an hour away, do my homework on the way back, ride from about 4 to 7 or 8 at night. We had tractors and all sorts of building, and we had a legit track.
Do you have one with you in Pullman?
Yeah, I have multiple. I have one that I built out of so it was an electric, or no, it was a gas KTM 125. The engine blew up on it.
Okay.
And electric bikes are popular, so I was like, well, let's build one. So I built an
You
all
built
electric.
an electric motorbike?
Yeah, electric. It should be on my website. You might even see it, the KTM 125. But so it's the engine blew up. I put that in, and I put Tesla batteries in it, and this thing's a rocket ship. It goes about 70, 75 miles per hour.
You've got an all electric motorcycle.
Yep.
And it's a dirt bike? Is it a dirt bike or is it a road bike?
Dirt bike. Yeah.
Okay.
KTM 125. It's a race bike, and I built the battery, put the motor on it, programmed it all, and the thing rips. It's on my website, so you guys can definitely check that out. I've done that, and I built RJ Stone an electric bike. Built those out of Tesla batteries as well.
How did you learn how to do this stuff?
Oh, I grew up just doing it. My dad taught me everything. My dad's been a huge role model with all that, teaching me how to do it all. And then I'm lucky enough to have a shop here in Pullman, big garage at our house. I call it the shop, but we work there and do that. And this summer we did I call it the Jet John. It's more like the poor man's jet boat. I took a Sea-Doo, cut it in half, and I put it in a 12-foot aluminum boat. And I put that together and shot up clear water in about 2 inches of water through whitewater.
That is awesome. That is awesome, man.
So when you talk about us having a lot of time, us kickers, we definitely have a lot of time.
You got a lot of. So the one that I'm watching on the website that you're on the street, is that the electric bike?
No, but it's similar. So it looks identical to that. Okay. But it's it's all it's all electric.
That is great. What are you gonna? I see you like. You've probably seen this now that you say electric bikes. Have you watched that Apple series with Ewan McGregor? Oh, you'll love it. So you know who that is? The Ewan McGregor is an actor, like the newer Star Wars movies. He played Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know if that rings a bell. If you saw this guy, you probably would recognize him. Anyways, he did he's got like a series of these like documentaries on Apple Plus. Go check it out. And the latest one that he did, let's see, I think it's called Long Way Up. Long Way Up. It's on Apple Plus. Him and his buddy drive from South America all the way, ride their bikes all the way up to LA. And they do it on Harley Davidson was coming out, and I think it's out now. But at the time, Harley Davidson was testing electric road bikes. Wow. And they wanted to see if they could do it. And so they ride all the way up on these electric bikes. And like the guys that are filming them are driving in Rivians. Rivians weren't out at that time, but they were testing it as well. You now knowing this about you'll love the show. Apple Plus, sweet. Long Way Up. It came out like 4 years ago.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. That's rad. I love all the electric stuff. I don't think it's the way to go with everything. I still love my gas truck and love all that part of it, but it is incredible how quick and how much acceleration there is and how quiet it is. Yeah.
I would assume those Tesla batteries are pretty cheap.
They're expensive. There's a lot of them. So they look like little AA batteries.
That's it?
So if you see a Tesla, it's a AA battery size, maybe a little bit better. They're called 18650 cells. And there's about 5,000 of them underneath in a big sheet. So
really?
So it'll just be about 5,000 to 10,000 of those AA batteries underneath your Tesla.
Okay, yes or no, Cybertruck?
If I had a lot of money, I would get one. Like if I didn't care, I'd get one.
It looks really bad though.
Yeah, it's kind of just one of those cool. Like it's just one of those cool things to have. I think really.
Oh man, that is we really just went off on a tangent there once that motorbike story came out with and I got sidetracked. I was going to follow up a story about your mom. I there's got to be something every day that that you think of that reminds you of her, or just a saying or phrase that she had? I mean, you've talked about the great influence that she's been on your life, and there's got to be something that probably reminds you of her every day.
Yeah, I mean, just doing the foundation, things like that, and meeting the super nice people and just like seeing what they're going through reminds me a lot of it. And it brings me great joy to be able to donate money to people fighting cancer and just to see how much that helps them. Like last week, I was able to donate again to this nice young lady. Her name's Layla. She's about 16 years old. She's from the Palouse area, and she's fighting leukemia. And last year, I gave her $10,000 to help pay for her medical bills because they're driving back and forth to Seattle and be able to pay for all that. And so it's incredible to hear that she's in remission now. And so she's in remission now. She still goes to the doctors once a week and doing that and still paying for all the medical treatments. So we were able to give her another $5,000 and to see like how much joy that brings to them and just being able to help them with their financial burdens.
Keep it up, man. You're killing it. Good for you. I mean, just really, really good for you. You got, hey, if the motorcycle thing doesn't work out, which it may, the kicking career, 'cause I'm assuming you want to go to the NFL to kick, let's get a lot of money. Then we're going to open up. Oh, there goes the lights again.
Did it again.
There goes the lights.
This stupid thing.
The lights have gone out in the room again because we've kept you in. We've kept you here for too long. So when you're done with the NFL, then you open up the bike shop where you're going to sell repair and sell bikes. Broadcasting is in your career. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I think you're great at it.
Stuff like this is fun. And then get into that and hopefully become successful and then help you get out of your college dorm room. That'd be cool.
If you can please get me out of this college dorm room, you will save me. Save me. Your whole job is to save me. Dean, this was a pleasure, man. It was a blast. You're just a great representative of the school. Keep up all the great work. Stop taking shit from people like me and keep kicking it through the uprights, man. And you mentioned it. Hey, whatever, I'm going to be successful. You're going to be successful. There's no doubt about it that you're going to be successful on and off the field. We appreciate the time today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jason.
Yeah, there he is, Dean Janikowski. It's all brought to you by Cougs Corner, brought to you by the Cougar Collective. Donate today, 1890 Club. Go join the 1890 Club. Support student-athletes like Dean and others for just $18.90 a month, cougarcollective.org. Also, thank you to Andy Largent and the fine folks there at Flat Stick Pub as they bring you the Cougs Corner every week. Again, visit flatstickpub.com. Catch us up on YouTube, also on the other podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, and, of course, up at pucksports.com.